So today I'm going to be learning a little bit more about the Norwegian chess player, the Prodigy, Magnus Carlsen. This is a chess prodigy, explains how his mind works. So actually I want to find like a documentary about him, telling about his life. I'd love to know more about him. Obviously I know of him, I know how he's such a brilliant chess player and always has been. But I'd love to just know more about his life when he was younger, how he got into it, where he's from, all that sort of thing. So if you know any good documentaries, please recommend it in the comments. But this one, explaining how his mind works, I think it's like quite interesting to find out how geniuses' minds work. So he's obviously a genius. Like, let's watch this so we can find out.
A correspondent candid with 60 Minutes' Bob Simon.
Magnus Carlsen is the top chess player in the world. He's 21 years old. Superhuman is about as good a word as I can find. I can imagine what it's like to be a good tennis player. I can imagine what it's like to be a good skier. What he does is just unfathomable.
Most of the time, I know what to do. I don't have to figure it out. I don't have to sit there calculate for 45 minutes, an hour to know what the right move. Usually I can just feel it immediately.
If you know immediately, why do you sit there for a half hour? We've been watching you for a week and you're sitting there until we're watching the paint dry.
Well, because I have to, verify my opinion, see that I haven't missed anything. But a lot of the time it's fairly useless because I know what I'm going to do, and then I sit there for a long time and I do what I immediately wanted to do.
I think that's like interesting because not only is he like naturally gifted, he's also like very sensible. He doesn't just jump straight in there, but he actually wants to like assess if he's making the right decision, if that decision that came so quickly is the correct one. Again, even that little insight is quite interesting, like into his mindset. Tell me how he's thought of in Norway as well, and has he always been like quite famous in a way?
He's called the Mozart of chess, and I can see it. You couldn't understand how Mozart did what he did. It came from another world. And Magnus Carlsen is doing things that no human being I've met before can do. At one point, he played 10 chess players at the same time, looking the other way, so he couldn't see the boards. I mean, just think about
Unreal.
it. 10 chessboards that he has in his mind every second. Doesn't lose track of what's happening on the boards and what he needs to do next. Can you explain what was going on in your head?
Really, I was just focusing on trying to remember the positions. And from time to time, I had to think a little bit to come up with a good move as well.
Even he admits that it's not easy.
I would wonder where a certain piece is. And so I had to, replay the game in my head from the very beginning.
How long did it take you to do that?
I don't know, half a minute or something. It would be interesting to try like 20 people sometime.
Have you ever done that?
No, 10 is the most I've done.
But you'd like to try more?
It would be fun.
I really liked him. There's not a false bone in his mind or in his body. Totally honest. He wouldn't know how to deceive, which is interesting, because chess is all about deception. But when he's away from the chessboard, you know that when you ask him a question, he's going to answer honestly.
So what are you doing for the rest of the day?
I'm preparing for the next game.
He had a day off. He'd been in London before, but told us he'd never seen the sights. We took him up onto this, it's a giant Ferris wheel that overlooks London, and it's right on the south side of the Thames, so you can see the Houses of Parliament, Big Ben. We were up in the London Eye for, I guess, 45 minutes or so. He didn't look out the window. He wasn't interested. Do you ever stop thinking about chess?
Sometimes, but right now I was actually thinking about chess.
And you were thinking about Specific moves? Or?
Yeah, I was thinking about something specific in my preparation for my game tomorrow.
Magnus told us that he can remember 10,000 games that have been played in the past. He's got them in his mind. So we set up a board. Okay, go ahead.
This is Carlsen Kasparov from Reykjavik, 2004.
Jeez.
And you were how old?
I was 13 years old.
It's hard to surprise this guy. I was trying to surprise him from the day we met,
Why were you trying to surprise him?
just for the hell of it.
That is actually quite amazing. Like, what a wonderful mind he is. Like, how you can remember like 10,000 games, but just as soon as he's seen the layout of that chessboard there, he kind of like laughed and knew it immediately. It's not like it took him a while to try and find it in his mind somewhere. It was just straight there. Like, I don't know if that's like an important match to him or something like that, but quite amazing. Yeah, like when you see someone like that, you just wonder how they actually got to that point. Like, was that like, is it nature or nurture? Was he just born like that with a mind that's completely different to anybody else? Was he like brought up in a certain environment that that allowed his mind to develop like that? Like, it's really interesting. I'm going to watch more videos about him. I'd love to, not just because of how good he is at chess, just because of things like that, like his mind, his mentality and things like that as well. Yeah. And I guess he's younger here, so tell me, like, how is he today? How is he still like such a good player? Is he still got that similar mind? What's he like today? But yeah, recommend other videos about Magnus. I'll check them out soon. But this was, yeah, kind of mind blowing. Thanks.